Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up the USA view. HRC launches American Dreams Tour to reclaim LGBTQ plus visibility. As anti-LGBTQ legislation surges across the country, the Human Rights Campaign is hitting the road with a bold new campaign aimed at fighting back, not with fear, but with stories. The nation's largest LGBTQ civil rights organization announced that the American Dreams Tour, Equality Across America, a multi-city effort to amplify queer voices, counter political disinformation, and re-energize a movement under siege. The tour kicked off July 30th in Columbus, Ohio, and will make several stops, including Las Vegas, DC, Dallas, Atlanta, and Nashville through November. Additional events are planned for rural and suburban areas. The campaign launched with a powerful video narrated by HRC President Kelley Robinson, fresh off maternity leave.
Dreams have always been bigger than any one story, one family, or one future. It's about who we are as people and our rights to learn, to work, to buy a home, to build a business, to be exactly who we are. But right now, there are people in power who want that dream all to themselves. We know better because we've been here before. From protest lines to church pews, from clinics to classrooms, from drag shows to boardrooms, we have turned raids into resistance, the AIDS crisis into action, rejection into revolution. We have rebuilt this country every time it broke our hearts. We have always moved this country forward using our voices, our vision, our grace, and our grit. That is the power of our stories. They do more than inspire, they ignite. So now, we're taking that power on the road for the American Dreams Tour. To listen, to learn, to lead, to remind this country and everybody along the way of what's always been true. We are the American Dream.
Appearing on MSNBC's Morning Joe, Robinson called the tour, quote, a cultural intervention and a political necessity. We not only change hearts and minds, we shift the way that people behave, that how they vote, and that they advocate, end quote. The tour is part of HRC's 1 Million Voices for Equality campaign, which includes storytelling, training, and community events. With 953 anti-trans bills introduced in 49 states this year and 120 already enacted, Robinson says, quote, equality cannot be conditional, end quote. Well said. I can't agree more. We look at especially the anti-trans bills and what's potentially next. It's just appalling. And, and then you look at the excesses and what the right justifies and what they want to erase.
It's also in our mission here at Happening Out, right? It's, to tell our stories.
Yes.
And to catalog these stories is important. NPR has been doing it for a long, long time now, and with their funding cut, they probably won't be doing it anymore. So it's good that the HRC is stepping up and getting, especially our community stories documented.
They just recently canceled We're Here on HBO, the drag story telling of going into small towns and how much good that did for our community to kind of in small towns where they don't get to see, LGBTQ culture and I find that this kind of rings a little bit of that same concept of kind of bringing a more like homegrown tour instead of a protest or something else to really kind of normalize, and I hate to use that term, but to make our causes, bring them to the places where people may not have exposure to it. Right. So I think it's a great idea. It's SAVE here in South Florida is doing something on a local level where they're training people to go to their local municipalities to speak at town hall meetings and go on the record and share why our community is important. And I think we all need to do things like this, kind of just putting ourselves out there and why, because again the media puts a lot of us kind of at odds with each other, and I think what the HRC is doing is is really smart.
It is
really smart.
It is.
Yeah, and Kelley has a really, you know, if you ever catch her interviews, is just a great voice for our community. So. Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer, nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.